One more day of state witnesses before prosecutors plan to rest their case in the trial of Darrell Brooks.
And today, jurors will hear what Brooks said to FBI agents hours after the attack took place.
Fox 6 investigator Brian Paulson is back with us with the latest from the trial. Good morning.
You guys know for the last 2 weeks we've been talking about how that SUV, they sort of led jurors down the path of the SUV through the heart of the parade, killing 6 and injuring more than 60. But Monday, prosecutors turned to what happened after the vehicle left the route. One officer fired shots at the Ford Escape, and a short time later, they found that vehicle had been abandoned in a driveway a couple of blocks south of the parade route. Police soon got tips that a man matching the driver's description was going door to door in a pair of Waukesha neighborhoods, asking to use people's phones. A Big Bend police officer found Brooks standing on a neighbor's front porch. You might have seen the Ring video of the arrest, but for the first time, the state showed jurors the officer's body camera as well.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Do it now!
Hey, taking one of the hospitals for a plan here.
What did I do? What is your name?
Brooks. Darrell.
Say Darrell Brooks. The state says that video shows a couple of important things. One, he identified himself as Darrell or Darrell Brooks. 2, he wasn't wearing any shoes, just as several other neighbors had described. 3, police did not slam him to the ground, as Brooks later claimed. You saw him slowly getting down as they ordered him down to the ground.
The burden of proof is on the prosecution in a criminal trial like this, and we're seeing them have to connect each and every single dot along the way. So they've arrested a suspicious person. How do they actually tie that person to the SUV?
I think that's the thing we've really been waiting to hear, right, is how are they going to put Brooks behind the wheel? And we got some of that yesterday. One thing they point to is, an officer says they found an ignition key in his pocket. It was a Ford ignition key. They didn't say explicitly it was the key to that car, but I think that was the suggestion. 2, the vehicle was registered to Dawn Woods, who we know is Darrell Brooks' mom. They also say they found documentation of some kind in the vehicle with Darrell Brooks' name on it. And 3rd, Brooks placed multiple calls to Dawn Woods, his mom, that night using neighbors' phones. She called an Uber then to try to get him out of Waukesha and back home to Milwaukee, but police found him first. They're connecting all of those dots to show it was him behind the wheel. He was frantically trying to get out of town, and they found a key in his pocket.
Now, we learned for the first time this week that prosecutors actually offered a plea deal to Brooks.
Yeah, that's right. They had actually done it back in July, they say. DA Sue Opper says they offered to eliminate all of the penalty enhancers and extra charges beyond those directly tied to each of the victims. That offer was in exchange for a guilty plea on the 6 homicide counts and 61 counts of recklessly endangering safety. Opper says the deal would have included 6 consecutive life terms for Brooks. Brooks said his public defenders never even told him about the offer. And when they re-presented the offer to him last week, he did not act on it. He would have to plead guilty to act on that. He hasn't done it so far. So that deal has been offered, but he's not accepted it.
And Brian, the deadline, or I should say the timeline for when the prosecution will rest its case, it kind of keeps getting punted further and further back. How are things looking this week?
Yeah, so many delays along the way, right? I mean, obviously Brooks's lengthy cross-examinations, then you had the tornado warnings, and you've had all the arguments with the judge over subject matter jurisdiction. Well, we know that they're looking at wrapping up the state's case finally by tomorrow. A Waukesha detective who stayed with Brooks at the hospital is expected to testify today. He's going to play an audio recording of a conversation that took place in the presence of a couple of FBI agents. Then they're going to have Brooks call his first witness out of order because there's an interpreter who's available today. And then the state still plans to take jurors to go see the SUV itself. And the DA says they're hoping to rest tomorrow. That would mean Brooks could then start presenting his case, including the other, 11 witnesses I think he has prepared to call. So this could still go on a while, and I'm guessing the jury's not going to get this case until very late this week, if not next week.
And maybe even an opening statement, because we never got that from Brooks either.
He didn't give one, that's right. He deferred that, so we still haven't really heard him present his case. Hopefully we'll hear the case he plans to make soon.
All right, Brian Paulson, thank you so much. Stay